All right, so our next question here is from D. And D asks, I feel the book of Revelation of Jesus Christ. God has Jesus reveal his plan to the angel that tells and shows John the events coming soon. His promises and blessings assure me we are loved. How can I share this good news if everyone else is so afraid? So, okay, so this is an interesting question because basically we're saying, a lot of people think of Revelation and the end times as a very scary thing, but the Bible does also talk about it being a good thing, that evil will be done away with and good will prevail. And so, he has peace, but not everyone does.
That's true. And when it comes to the book of Revelation, I know it does seem like a very intimidating and scary book. I remember when I was first a Christian and I was a teenager and I decided to read the Bible from cover to cover. And when I got to Revelation, I was like, what am I reading? And there are some things that seem kind of scary for sure. But when I started studying it again with a really great pastor, he reminded us that everything God does is love. God is love. 1 John 4:8 says God is love. So if the Revelation 1:1 says it's the revelation of Jesus Christ. So is Jesus Christ love? Yes, he exemplifies love. And Jesus tells us in Revelation 1:17, John sees him, he falls on his face, and Jesus laid his right hand upon him and says to him, fear not, I am the first and the last. So Jesus, when John is getting overwhelmed at, what this vision is going to be, Jesus's first words to him are, fear not, don't be afraid. It's not a scary thing. I'm here to tell you what's going to happen so you don't fear and so that you're prepared and you can have peace throughout whatever, the things that are going to come to pass. And I just wanted to point out, something else that Jesus promises us in Matthew 24, verse 6. And I'll just get there real quick. 24. And Jesus says, when he's talking about, we're talking about Matthew 24 and how, all these things have to come to pass. But Jesus tells us himself again, you shall hear wars, rumors of wars, see that you be not troubled. For these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So Jesus is saying, all these things are going to happen, but the end is not yet. Don't stress, don't fear. And the biggest word of encouragement I would say is found in Ephesians 4, verse 15. Sorry, and I'm looking up things as I'm going. Ephesians 4, verse 15. And it says, but speaking the truth in love may grow up into him all things, which is the head, even Christ. So when you're speaking about the book of Revelation, you of course it's truth, but we speak the truth in love. And when we speak the truth in love, it's not a scary thing, just like anything you might learn about in school. If you speak about it with excitement, it's the way, it's presented. If you, talk about biology, it can be something scary or, crazy. But if you talk about it in a way that's, just calm and interesting and, something that you see the positive in it, then it becomes a beautiful thing. I just am reminded of when I was in school and I was learning my cadaver lab, and it was kind of, a scary thing. We are working with dead bodies, but our teacher was a Christian, and he was telling us, as much as, it makes me sad. He's like, one, I know that there's a resurrection, so I don't feel bad. And he's like, and two, these people gave their bodies so that we can learn how to treat people and save lives. And so he's like, so don't feel like this is a depressing thing. You're looking at somebody dead. No, they gave their last gift, which was their body, so that they could learn, so that you can learn how to treat other people and save lives. And so I just like anything can be either, presented well or presented scary. But if we present it in love, in Christian love, I think that's the best way to go about it.
Any last short words on that, Jay?
I think that really sums it up well. And for me, the verse that comes to mind is Amos 3:7. which says, "Surely the Lord God does nothing unless he reveals his secret to his servants, the prophets." And I just think of, a family in a car, and they're driving together, and the kids are saying, "Mom and Dad, where are we going?" "Well, we're not going to tell you." "What are we going to do there?" "Well, we're not going to tell you." "What's it going to be like?" "We're not going to tell you." I mean, what sort of parents would those be? I mean, the kids would be scared. They would get afraid. They would have a lot of concerns. But by telling things ahead of time, you're building trust. You're giving people a reason not to be afraid. You're giving them confidence. So like everything that Tina said, yeah, this is because of love that God is revealing these things, so we don't have to be caught off guard. So we don't have to be afraid, and we know where the car is heading. We know what the destination is going to be. We know what it's going to look like. We know how we could be prepared, and yeah, that's God's act of love, is telling that to us ahead of time. If he didn't think we could handle it, he wouldn't have told us.
It made me think of flying on a plane and hitting turbulence, and when the pilot tells you ahead of time that the turbulence is coming on and how long it's going to last, you have a lot more confidence in that pilot. But when the plane hits turbulence and you weren't expecting it and they weren't expecting it, suddenly you're like, what's going on? So I think of the what Revelation tells us is similar to that we're going to go through turbulence, but God is telling us ahead of time so that we can be aware of what it is and that we're going to have smooth flight afterwards.